Hi, this is Darren Gamble, school counselor at Cherry Hill East. Tonight, along with Mr. Figueroa and Mrs. Kiesler, we'll be going over Naviance, all the ins and outs of it, and how to use Naviance to research and apply to colleges. First of all, the website is listed there for East's Naviance access there. You can get to it through this PowerPoint presentation, or there are also links to it on the East website as well. As a parent or as a guest, you can log into Naviance and see most of the information that's available to your student, but not the specific information related to your individual student. If you're interested, you can get, as a parent, you can get access to your child's information in Naviance by simply requesting an access code from your student's counselor. Most students at this point already have a Naviance account. They were introduced to Naviance as freshmen, where they were provided with an account login either in small groups or by meeting individually with their counselor. So typically, if your student does not have an account at this point, please reach out to your student's counselor to get that login information as soon as possible so that you can get access to Naviance and see all the awesome features that we're going to show you here tonight. Once students or parents log into Naviance, they'll be brought to their home screen, which will look something similar to what you're seeing here, with some favorites up here with colleges I'm thinking about, colleges I'm applying to, some important to-dos and tasks that have been added here. They may not be accessible yet for juniors, but they will be. This is the student and parent questionnaire for the counselor recommendation letter, and also what's coming up or what's new in terms of colleges that are visiting East in the near future here. So next, we'll show you the About Me tab. You'll click here. You'll see the option to click on the About Me home section, and that will take you to this screen where you'll see the account button here. Once you click on that, you'll see some general information in there about your student, counselor, contact information, and usually most importantly to students and parents, your academic information in terms of your unweighted GPA out of 4 and your weighted GPA out of 7. And also very soon, your class rank will be in there, starting roughly in mid-February for juniors. Their unofficial class rank will be in this account information here for the About Me section and the home screen. Also in the About Me section is the resume builder that Naviance has. One of the nice things about the resume builder in Naviance is it's very easy to use and it's very user-friendly. Any information that you would like to add into your resume, you can see all the options here and choose any of them that apply. And then Naviance will populate some simple fill-in-the-blank drop-down menu options to help add the relevant information into your resume. So one of the really good reasons for creating a resume in Naviance is not only is all this information going to be asked of you on your college application, so creating it in Naviance allows you to have that information easily accessible, but also when it comes time to ask for teachers' letters of recommendation for next year, students won't even have to print or email or share their resume if it's already on Naviance. Teachers will have access to the student's resume in Naviance, so they won't even have to print it or email them or anything like that. So you can, of course, print it or export it or anything like that. But again, really easy to use resume. They'll talk a little bit later tonight about the resume and what it should contain. But just know that that is in the About Me section as well. And also in the About Me section are a student's test scores. PSATs, SATs, ACTs, all of that information is in Naviance as well, and that helps with the college search process. Typically, we'll upload PSAT and SAT scores for students as long as they put their student ID number on their registration information for the PSATs and SATs. ACTs, students typically need to upload themselves since we don't get that data file from the ACT Student Corporation.
Hi everyone, my name is Carly Kiesler and I am another one of the guidance counselors here at Cherry Hill High School East. Today I'm going to talk to you about some of the assessments you can find in Naviance to help your career and college searches. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Do What You Are survey. And what this survey does is explore personality traits and their relationship to possible majors and careers. So now what I'm going to do is just pop over to my demo screen. So it's a little zoomed in, but you should be able to see this is what it will. Let me show you the home screen. So this is what the home screen should look like when you log into your Naviance account. And for the sake of this, we're just going to be clicking on the About Me tab, My Assessments, and then that first tab is the Do What You Are survey. So as you can see, before you start the survey, it gives you a summary of what to expect. That way you can plan best for how much time to allot for the assessments. This one's quick, takes about 15 minutes, and it gives you some pointers on how to get the best results for you. So just to summarize, there's no right or wrong answers. This isn't a test that's graded. This is to help you in your search. Choose options that are most like you because that's going to give you the most accurate results. And don't be influenced by what others may expect of you. It's very easy to listen to our friends or our family and hear what they want us to do, but in order to be successful in your career, you want it to reflect your personality and what's going to be best for you. Okay, and then when you want to start that, you would just click that continue button and that would take you on to the assessment. This slide is just showing you some examples of results you could achieve from taking the Do What You Are survey, right? So this is related careers and majors. This student got architecture and construction, pretty interested, right? And what this is helpful for is, we might know what our career choice is. This student might have known, I want to be a construction manager. But again, how that translates into what field of study or major you should take can look different school to school. So this is giving you examples of what that major might look like from school to school and how to achieve being a construction manager. So as you can see here, some options for this one specifically would be business, commerce general, construction, engineering, technology, or a technician, operations management, and supervision. So you can look over that yourself and you'll be able to see that with your results as well. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about is the career interest profiler. What that does is coordinate interests to majors and careers via a 180 question survey. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but again, it's going to give you very accurate results because it's really trying to understand you and give you the most careers that you would be successful with. So I'm going to click back over here to show you how to find that. You're going to click on About Me, My Assessments, then the Career Interest Profiler. Okay, so again, that's just going to summarize briefly what I just said, give you those tips and pointers again, and when you're ready to start, you would just click that nice big start button. The next one I'm going to show you how to find is the Learning Styles Inventory. So what this assessment does is reveal ways students learn best and how they can be most productive. So this is another one, if you want to take a different approach, it helps you understand how you learn, and sometimes that can be translated into a career choice. So again, to find that, you're going to click About Me, My Assessments again, and then Learning Styles Inventory. Again, it's giving you a summary of how long it will take, so it's going to take less than 20 minutes. Those tips and pointers again, and then that big continue button when you're ready to take the assessment. The next assessment we're going to talk about is the Career Cluster Finder. What this does is help you find career clusters that match your interest and personal qualities. So this is a little more in depth as well. And what it's trying to do, again, is just find out more about you to help you find a cluster of different careers instead of just pinpointing one. So it's going to give you a wide variety of options at the end to explore. How we're going to find that is About Me, My Assessments, Career Cluster Finder, the last one on there. So again, this one, again, summarizes what you'll be answering questions about, and it's a lot about you. So activities, personal qualities, and favorite school subjects, and that's it. And it's gonna help you find that top cluster of careers that might be a match for you. And again, to take that, you're gonna click that big start button, and that will guide you where you need to go. The last thing I'm going to show you in this portion is the how to explore career clusters, right? So say we're going into the search and you know you wanted to be a nurse, right? And you've always wanted to be a nurse, but I need to know more about it. How you can do this is by, again, I'm just going to show you quickly, About Me, My Assessments. You're going to click on the Career Cluster Finder, and that's the screen we're on. And instead of scrolling down and clicking Start, what you're going to do is go to the left side here and click on Explore Careers and Clusters. So that's going to give you options to look up those career choices that you might already be thinking about. So I'm going to type in nurse. Go. You can see on the right-hand side, it's giving me a list of careers or a career cluster of jobs or careers that might be best fit for you based on being interested in nursing. So again, you can see there's a wide variety that comes up. Let me get down to here just to show you the screen. I'm going to click on registered nurse or an RN. So if that's something you know you want to do, it's going to take you to this page that's giving you an overview and more information about that career choice. So as you can see, there's a job description. It's telling you, interest based on the Holland interest code. Knowledge and skills. So it's going to organize the 5 most important skills that they view for this career and job choice. So again, it helps you really figure out if it's describing you and what might be best for you. Tasks and activities that you might come in contact with on the job, right? So the typical tasks you're going to see, the most common things you're going to see at work on a day-to-day basis. So again, it's giving you a very in-depth look at what to expect from that career choice. And last but not least, wages. So again, you can see here, it organizes it by national. You can look at it by your state. And if you know you're going to go to school out of state or maybe eventually move, it's going to give you those averages for all states here. And you can search for that and find it in this program. So this is just a really helpful, detailed tool that we want to make sure you're aware of.
Hello, this is Bert Figueroa, one of East School counselors. I'm going to talk about the Advanced College Search feature of Naviance that is found under the Colleges tab by clicking on Advanced College Search. This is an extremely valuable feature that helps students answer the questions, to which colleges should I apply, and what have been the historical admissions results of East alums. There are 8 sections for this search, and you can start with any one of them, and you can review your results by clicking View Matches at any point in the search. This next slide shows that there are 347 matches for the 3 criteria selected: 4-year college, co-ed student body, and Mid-Atlantic region of states. As you select more specific criteria, you will find that the number of matches becomes smaller and more focused. The next slide is an example of the list of college matches generated by your search criteria. By clicking on the 3 dots next to the word More, this links to direct options will appear, like scattergrams or graphs, which I will show you soon, and the option to visit the college's website directly. Clicking on the college itself will take us to the next slide. On this slide, each college is broken down even further into 5 categories full of valuable information. As you can see, the admissions tab is a great place to acquire specific admissions information for each college, such as their type of admissions, like rolling or regular, their application deadlines, application fees, acceptance rate, and even the past 3 years of data for each students who were accepted and enrolled in this college, to name a few. The last slide for the Advanced College Search displays a scattergram, or a graph, that plots a student based on their GPA and standardized test scores. Both the GPA and the test score can be manipulated with the drop-down menus to choose either the weighted or unweighted GPA or the SAT, ACT, or PSAT tests for plotting purposes. If you look closely, you can see how our fictional student plots on the graph as a blue circle near where the average college numbers intersect, the two black lines, showing that this student essentially meets the average East alum admissions numbers, with East alums being accepted for admissions below and above this point of intersection. The scattergrams do not predict admissions acceptances or denials for any college, but provide a great visual image for students and parents to see how their academic numbers compare to those of past East students who have been accepted or denied admissions to any given college.
So as you're doing some research in Naviance, when you come across colleges that you are interested in or would like to consider further, you can add those colleges to the colleges I'm thinking about list in Naviance, so you don't have to keep going back and searching for the same schools over and over again. You can do it in a couple of ways. The most common way is you'll notice a little heart symbol next to the name of the college that you're interested in. You can just click on that, and that will add the college to the list of colleges you're thinking about that is in Naviance. Just so you know, colleges don't get notified that you've liked them or hearted them or anything like that. And similarly, they're not going to find out if you now remove them from the list of colleges that you're thinking about, so they won't get their feelings hurt in any way. But one of the helpful things about doing that and adding them to that list of colleges you're thinking about is that you will get an automatic email notification from Naviance when that college comes to visit East, whether that's in the spring of this year or in the fall of next year. You'll get an automatic email that they're coming to visit, date and time, and you can sign up for that visit, whether that's in person or virtual. That is yet to be determined, but either way, a good feature of adding it to the colleges I'm thinking about list. And that list is found under the colleges home tab, and you'll see colleges I'm thinking about. Click on that, and you'll get a list of all the colleges that you have added to your list of colleges you're thinking about. Some of them, usually are added by the student. If it was added by your parent, it will say added by parent. So that's a nice feature. Once you've built a list of colleges you're thinking about in Naviance, one of the nice things that you can do is right from that list, you can see some additional information about that college. So you can see the scattergrams, which are super helpful. You can visit the school's website or request more information or send them an email. Additionally, one of the beneficial things come August, summer, or even fall of next year is you can take these colleges that are in your list of colleges I'm thinking about and move them over to colleges that you're actually going to be applying to. So all you do is check them off like I just showed you, and then you can select your application deadline or how you're applying, or even if you've already sent your application, and you can just add applications at that time, or even add and request transcripts at the same time. So really beneficial feature of adding colleges to the list of colleges I'm thinking about in Naviance, so that you can then make it easier to apply to those same colleges come summer or fall. So Naviance has a ton of really helpful tools to research colleges and to build that list of colleges you're thinking about and eventually colleges you're applying to. They can all be found under the Colleges tab, and either selecting any of these particular options, such as the Find Your Fit, you'll see all these different types of college search tools come up. One of the best and I think easiest to use is Supermatch. So what Supermatch allows you to do is it allows you to select from any of these criteria that are listed up top here, all in blue, and select from any of those criteria that may be important to you or your parents, such as location, the major that you're looking for, the type of surroundings, all those things, and choose those criteria. So for instance, our fictional student here, in terms of location, they're looking for schools in these particular states, the Mid-Atlantic region basically, and they're looking for schools that are in those states that are in suburbs, near cities, large cities, small cities, and in a town as well. So they're not really looking to be in the huge city school environment. They're more looking towards the suburbs, but close to a city. So that's the location criteria that they entered. You'll see that it's under the must-have column. If maybe that is not the most crucial piece of information that they have to have in a college, they can move it over to the nice-to-have column, and that will resort their list, which shows all of the colleges that meet their criteria in terms of must-have and nice-to-have, and in terms of how it meets those criteria, how much of a percentage it is in terms of meeting those criteria, as well as how much of an academic match it is for your particular student, as well as some other information that is highlighted there. So Supermatch is a really great thing, a really great tool to use. You can obviously find out more information about any of those schools that come up in Supermatch just by clicking on that school, and that will open up a new screen or a new tab for you that shows you all the detailed information about that school, including, of course, the admissions information with all the scattergrams and the graphs that help you figure out if you're a good academic match for that school, and lots of other information as well. So that was all from Colleges, Find Your Fit, Supermatch. So once you've used Supermatch to create a list of colleges that you're interested in exploring more and perhaps adding some of them to the list of colleges that you're thinking about, you can go to that list of colleges you're thinking about and use this Compare Me feature that Naviance has to kind of sum up some of the key data points and see how you compare to past East accepted students at those particular colleges. So if you hit that Compare Me button, it'll take you to a new screen here where it's got your basic information up top here in terms of your weighted GPA, your SAT score, and perhaps any ACTs or things like that you might have. And then it's going to show you some of the colleges that you have in your colleges I'm thinking about list and how you compare to the East accepted averages at those particular college. So with Albright University or Albright College here, you can see our first college compares favorably for our fictional student. His GPA, his weighted GPA is a 5.0 on the 7.0 scale. East accepted average weighted GPA is a 4.79 at Albright College. And likewise, his SAT score of 1100 compares well to the East accepted average there at Albright College, which was a 1098. Same thing with East Stroudsburg University down here. You'll see had an East accepted average GPA of 4.55 and an East accepted average SAT score of 1083. That compares well to the students 1100 and 5.0, and that's why you see the green check marks next to those numbers there. Allegheny is similar in the sense that he has a better weighted GPA compared to past East accepted average students there, but not so much in terms of his SAT score. That's off a little bit.
And then you can take a look at some of the other schools that are in this fictional students list of colleges he's thinking about and see how those numbers stack up as well. Keep in mind, as always, these are just a few data points in the larger part of the whole college admissions process. This is not a reason to, apply or not apply to colleges just because, college comes up. For instance, St. Joe's with a 5.31 compared to this student's 5.0 and an 1192 compared to the 1100. Keep in mind that's not a reason, those two numbers right there are not a reason to not apply to St. Joe's if it's of interest, because these are just East accepted averages. And as we know, East is a phenomenal school with academically rigorous students who take their studies seriously and have great GPAs and great SAT scores. So this is not national averages, this is East specific averages. And obviously, as the name average implies, students are accepted all the time with GPAs and SAT scores below those averages. So again, keep in mind, only two pieces really of the whole college admissions puzzle, lots of other factors considered in all of this.
So just a couple last things to keep in mind when you're looking at this information in Naviance. So first of all, keep in mind when you are looking at the scattergrams in particular under the admissions tab in Naviance, the information that's shown there, obviously, these are all green acceptances from East. The red X's are denials from East, and you plot on this graph in this fictional student's case here with the average East accepted GPA there, average East accepted SAT score there. Keep in mind, these are averages. So obviously students are accepted both above and below that average. So just because Naviance says that maybe this is not the greatest fit for you academically, it's only based on two criteria. So don't let that discourage you from applying if that's a school that you're really interested in, because obviously colleges do look at much more than just the GPA and the SAT score in terms of determining admissions. One other thing just to keep in mind too that is under the admissions tab that's really helpful coming up in the next month or so is if you scroll down to the bottom of that admissions page, you'll see the recommended courses that this particular college either recommends or requires that you have in terms of your different high school requirements. So as you start to plan for senior year and some of your graduation requirements drop off and you don't need that fourth year of a world language or that fourth year of history or that fourth year of science, check out the recommended courses section for some of the schools that you're interested in. And that might help plan your senior year, because if you see a particular college on there that definitely wants, 3 or 4 years of a world language, and, you were thinking about not doing that fourth year of a world language, you may want to change your course of action for senior year. Same thing with history or science, things like that. So definitely a good thing to check out in the next couple weeks as you plan for senior year courses as well.
Hi everyone. Now we're going to talk about eDocs for senior year. Seniors must request recommendation letters and transcripts for colleges through Naviance. So all of this is done within this Naviance program. I'm just going to pop over and show you how to request your transcript first. So how we would do that is going to the college tab, then colleges I'm applying to, and that's going to take you to this screen right here. So as you can see, this is telling me that my Common App account has been matched. It's green, that means good. So this will be how you can tell that your Common App account is matched within the Naviance program. It also tells you if you have waived your FERPA status or not. And if you haven't, this will appear red and tell you that there's an error. So you know you need to log back into your Common App account to make sure that you go through that FERPA waiver process. How to request your transcript. You're going to scroll down a little bit and you're going to see this plus sign and in all caps, the Request Transcripts tab. So this is how you're going to request your transcripts for your colleges to be sent. So you can request additional transcripts, such as mid-year transcripts later. And by doing this, by doing the add transcript request, same way we got to this page, as you can see down here, you would just check off what you would like, what type of transcript you would like to send. So for the purpose of your first application in the beginning of the year, you would want to press initial. If you want to include additional materials, you may. That can be your unofficial SAT or ACT scores. And you can also put in where you're sending the transcripts to, right? So since this is a demo, it's not going to allow me to show you properly, but you could start typing in the schools. You just want to make sure that that's in your colleges I'm applying to list. And then you can type in and add where specifically you want that sent. Then you're just going to click this big done button and you're good to go. So for recommendation letters, that one can be a little tricky to find, so I'm going to show you on here as well. So again, you're going to do the same thing, going to colleges I'm applying to. Then you're going to scroll down to where it says letters of recommendation. And within this text, there is a link that says letters of recommendation section. To request a letter of recommendation, you're going to click on that link. And you're going to see it's going to take you to the screen where you'll be able to see all of your requests and the status of that request. So it's going to tell you the deadline you need them in by, who the recommendation is for, and the status of that request. And you can also cancel that request. To add a request, you're going to click the Add Request button. And you're going to see here within your account, it's going to give you a drop-down list of every teacher at East. So I'm just going to pick for this, Mr. Blum. And again, if this wasn't a demo, you would be able to click either all current and future colleges. Sorry about that. Or you're also going to be able to put in specific colleges you would like that recommendation sent to. As you can see, it's directing me to add colleges to the colleges I'm applying to list and a link to do so if I need to add schools to be able to make this request for a recommendation. Then the last step, including a personal note to remind your recommender about how great you are and any specifics about your request that you may need. We also recommend that you thank your recommenders, reaching out to them before sending them the official request through Naviance. That way you know that they're willing to write you a letter and you can work with them as far as deadlines and time frame and make sure they're able to get that letter done for you by your school's deadlines. Once you're done all of that, you would click on this Submit Request button and that will go right to the teacher's inbox and should be good to go. And that will also provide them a link to directly upload their letter. So there is no follow-up you would need to do unless you want to check in with your teacher to make sure that that recommendation was uploaded. Again, you'll be able to see the status of your request in this area here. Next, we're going to talk about the FERPA waiver, which I talked a little bit about before. Students can request recommendation letters and transcripts once they make a Common App account and sign the FERPA waiver. So that's important to know that before you start requesting transcripts and letters of recommendation, you need to create a Common App account. And as you can see here, this is a screenshot of what that will look like to create that account. And once you make that account, whether you're applying to Common App schools or not, you're going to want to add a school. That way you can complete that FERPA waiver process. Once you've completed your FERPA waiver, you'll be able to go back to the previous steps and request your recommendation letters and transcripts to be sent to your schools. And again, I know I already kind of showed you this demo, but this is just another screenshot of what that letters of recommendation tab will look like for you when you're adding those requests in. Another important note to make is that seniors will need to update each application status through Naviance. Okay, so once you start adding schools to your list, you'll see it starts to look like this, right? It starts compiling that list for you in the program. What you're going to need to update is your deadline. So whether that is regular decision, early action, that's going to need to go there so we know when your materials need to be sent by. having your transcript sent, right? So that's showing you that no request had been made. So that way you know if they're missing your grades for any reason, that that request was not entered in Naviance yet. So that will direct you again back to that request transcripts tab. And that's when it's easy to forget because you think it's automatic, but it is something you need to do by clicking on this request transcripts tab over here. And lastly, the status of your application. As it starts out, it's all listed as unknown, but you would be able to change that to accepted, denied, waitlisted, and that's something that is the student is responsible for, so we know where they're going and we can have that information on hand. Lastly, this is just another screen grab of what it will look like on your end. So again, this is saying for the student to check off that they've submitted their application, how they're applying, so whether that be Common App or another form of application type, the deadline for that application, so you can see here it's listed as early action and the actual date. The result, so right now it's set to unknown, but you would be able to check off waitlisted, deferred, and it'll give you those options to pick from. And then there's going to be a save button at the bottom that you'll be able to do to make sure everything stays in the system.
Hello, it's Bert Figueroa again, and I'm going to close out our Naviance presentation with some final comments and helpful information. On this side, we have some key points here. Remember to input test scores regularly and accurately to ensure proper data analysis. So for our students, we can input SAT and PSAT scores as long as they include their student ID on their test sheet when they take the exams. So we're able to upload those. In addition, if the student takes the ACT, they will have to input the ACT scores on their own. So we always try to remind our students to input test scores regularly because this is a feature that students can edit in Naviance. Also, it's important to complete several college searches over time and carefully consider the schools that are identified multiple times. So I will later show you some college planning websites, and they actually have a number of search options that you can use in addition to Naviance's search options in order to see which colleges continue to come up in your search results. It's important to visit as many colleges on your list as possible once you have a good college list. You can visit them virtually and or in person if that's possible. The more information you add to Naviance, the more you empower your counselor to help you. So this goes for your resume, if you fill out your resume in Naviance. Also, if you do the surveys and fill out the questionnaires and put in your test scores, any information that you have in there, the more that's in there, the better it is for you when you do searches. And it's also helpful for your counselor to help you in the college and career planning process. Naviance is great, but it's not perfect. Occasionally there are some glitches. Sometimes things are moved around when they revamp things in the summertime, but it is a really great resource for our students. Also, it's important to note that your counselor knows how many times you've accessed the account. We can look in there and see when the last time it is that you've accessed the account. So on occasion, we might nudge you to get back in there and make use of this wonderful resource. There are many college planning websites if you simply do an internet search for college planning websites, but here are a few to give you some starting points. For general college planning, these 6 websites will certainly get you started. Additionally, the College Board has created a step-by-step college search you could put to use as well. Remember, even though these sites are great for planning, they do not provide the specific college admissions information and history that Naviance provides for our East students. So we suggest that you use these sites as secondary sources to Naviance. Here are other helpful websites, with the first 2 being excellent resources for career information and career guidance. College retention rates and graduation rates are included in Naviance, but this site is dedicated to being more comprehensive with regard to these rates and related information. Here is a screenshot of the guidance website, which is fully active and extremely comprehensive. It is packed full of useful information, links, and documents. Many of your guidance forms, like working papers, and answers to questions such as what scholarships are available, can be found on this site. Last but not least, these past few summers, Mr. Gamble and I have been providing a free, that's right, free, Common App and Naviance workshop, usually in July and August. We hope to continue this tradition moving forward, and we'll send out information blasts as we get closer to the summertime. The workshop is a great way to get a head start, complete college searches, finalize your college list, complete the Common Application, match the Common Application with Naviance, and even upload your college essay. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for listening, and we hope you take advantage of all that Naviance has to offer our students.